So in this video, we're going to take out some banana suckers so that we can continue to propagate them. You'll see behind me that there's a couple of banana suckers. I'm not going to take these ones out, but this is part of an existing bunch. So you can see that big one there. I had to cut it down because it got damaged in a windstorm recently, and it was going to die anyways, so I just hastened the process and cut it down. But you can see that there are 3 more suckers that will take over. I decided to leave 3. I mean, I could probably take out one of these too, but anyways, every year there will be more suckers that come out of here. I think you're gonna have better success when propagating bananas when you have higher humidity levels. So for us here where we live, that's usually in the winter, because we get storms and it's just how our weather is. We have higher humidity, so our soils and plants tend to not dry out as much in the winter. So that's when I tend to do, things like that. But if you live in a humid area, you probably do it any time of the year. This is the area that I'm going to plant one of our suckers because there's some space there and it's against a protective wall. So you definitely want to pick a spot that could potentially be protected by frost in the winter. And in our case, it gets pretty hot here, so I'm gonna try growing it against a north wall, see how it does. But in general, you wanna plant bananas on south walls because they are generally frost tender. And my growing zone is 9B, so they can pretty much, I think, survive up to 9B. I think that's kind of their range. And then they go up to 10A, 10B, and so forth. You'll need a round shovel, and preferably, they're really sharp, because you're going to be digging out a banana sucker with one of these. In this clump, I am going to choose a smaller sucker so that the other ones can continue to grow bigger. So that one we're going to pull out. We're going to keep this one because it's the biggest one. And then we're probably going to leave this one here and this one here and take this one out as well. I think you can leave more than 3. It just depends on how large your clump is. Using your shovel, you want to pull away the debris, any kind of mulch that is around your banana clump, and get it to where you can see where the sucker is connected to the clump. You also want to dig underneath all the way as far as you can underneath the sucker so that you're actually pulling the root ball out as much as possible. You want to flip your shovel the other way around too, so in reverse, so that you are actually getting on equal sides of the sucker an even amount of root ball. So this is really good because I got quite a few roots, like 5, I think. And usually in the past, I usually only get this chunk. And that's all you need, so we'll just, plant that pretty deep so that it'll root right away. You can kind of clean this up too. I'm hoping this one takes. I didn't get it as well as the first one. I didn't really have as many roots. I still saw that there was part of the corm that came off. So we'll see if this one does any well or if it doesn't. But it's all part of the trial anyway. So you're gonna pull away, you know, the organic matter, any mulch that you got, so that you can dig, you know, a decent sized hole. And I've learned recently that you should, better planting holes are square holes, not round holes. Because once something hits a square edge, it will, the roots will branch out. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Just I'll throw all that mulch back there. Plant a banana. So bananas are actually not trees, they're herbaceous plants, herbaceous perennials. They're actually the biggest herb in the world. And they don't produce any wood. It's all green vegetative matter. And the easiest way to further propagate them is through vegetative propagation, because bananas these days don't really have seeds anymore. So we have to basically keep cloning them, which can lead to some problems down the line. We have some bananas like the Cavendish that are at risk of being wiped out by disease. So we do need to figure out how to increase diversity. And I'm actually not quite sure how they plan on doing that. I think it's through tissue culture. But if you do have access to some fruiting bananas in your area, this is the easiest way to further propagate them, and this is by essentially cloning them by taking out the suckers from a clump. So there you have it. We planted bananas. We planted 2 more from the clump, and so we should have 2 more clumps by next year. And last thing that you want to do is you want to water them in really well and spread some compost or wood chips around the top of it. I wouldn't add them into the planting hole, and just protect them from frost if you need to. Put a blanket or plastic sheet over them. But really, I mean, if you're in a growing zone like 9, 10, 11, you shouldn't have to protect them that much.